Next, we have a truly inspiring individual, Todd Stewart. As a community leader, Parkinson's advocate, and the owner of Envision Orlando, Todd brings a unique perspective to this summit. Diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2013, he has been an active voice in the community, advocating for awareness and support. Let's listen to Todd's personal narrative and learn about the power of community, support, and resilience in living with Parkinson's.
You have Parkinson's. Those are the 3 words that forever changed my life. And now I'm about to do the one thing that terrifies me even more than the disease itself: tell the world. My name is Todd Stewart, and I'm an editor at the Orlando Sentinel. In 2012, the day before my 36th birthday, I was diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's disease, a condition up until now that I've kept from most of my friends, some of my family, and my entire workplace. But 6 years later, I think it's time I'm finally honest with them and myself. The tremors in my left hand and left leg are coming with greater intensity and greater frequency. The trick of hiding my left hand in meetings isn't going to work much longer. I now have an occasional tremor in my jaw. Side effects from medications result in my head making sometimes pronounced, uncontrolled movements. Even talking for this video isn't easy. I have to concentrate on projecting my voice because speech is yet another motor skill that Parkinson's impairs. I'm sick and tired of keeping my Parkinson's a secret. I'm 41 years old now, and it's time to say it out loud, or at least as loud as this disease will let me. I have Parkinson's. This isn't easy because sharing my personal life doesn't come naturally to me. I tend to either overshare or undershare. So I sought some help.
So figuring out, I think, what you want to say ahead of time is very important in any conversation,
Sure.
Any important conversation that you're doing, and then sticking to that. So if it is that you want to just say, I have Parkinson's and these are my symptoms and that's that, and the end of the conversation for right now, knowing there will be future conversations about this, then that's fine. I think most people keep their first conversation pretty short and to the point, but crafting your narrative and knowing your points you want to say ahead of time and tailoring those to your audience are the key points.
When I was first diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, I really didn't know much about the disease. The only thing I really knew for sure was that Michael J. Fox had it. So one of the first things I did was run out and buy his book.
Most people know very little.
They know Michael J. Fox.
They know Michael J. Fox. That's a good starting point because he was 29 when he was diagnosed. So he was a very young onset. And so, they have seen him on TV.
Sure.
They've seen him in movies. So they have somebody they can identify. And you can say, well, when he was diagnosed, he was filming a lot of these movies
Sure.
that you're seeing, and you didn't know. Well, what I have is very similar to him. I'm a young onset. We have a different disease progression than somebody who's, say, 60, 70 years old.
Michael J. Fox has continued to work long past his diagnosis with Parkinson's disease, and I very much want to do the same. That means staying on top of my daily medications and as much physical activity as I can possibly manage, whether it be riding a bike, walking the dog, or something else. I'm determined to stay active so that I can live the life I want to live. It was now time to tell a larger group of friends, family, and work colleagues. But instead of having 25 different conversations, I decided to have one conversation with 25 people. 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. I was 35 at the time, which didn't seem fair, but I've kept it mostly, you can obviously see the symptoms here, but I've kept it mostly under wraps or tried to keep it under wraps for the last 6 years. But the truth is I'm sick of it. The reason you guys are all here is because it's the people I hear it from my lips. It's not fatal, it's not a terminal disease. They say you die with Parkinson's, not of Parkinson's, which is important, I think, to remember. I'm okay, and Michelle would like me to remind you this is not a Parkinson's party. This is just a brunch.
You guys don't eat my food, you're thinking.
And I've never seen this done before. And it's really, I just want to say we love you.
I appreciate it.
And I don't know why I feel like saying, bravo.
It really went as well as I could have hoped for. The support system around me grew exponentially, and my workplace was more than accommodating. More than anything, I got to release the burden I'd carried for more than 6 years. I have Parkinson's. There, I've said it, it's out there, and now you know.
It's been a while since I watched that. That's interesting. It's incredible to see so many of you here today, and thank you all for being here. I'm very happy to be here and to represent the Parkinson Association of Central Florida. You should all have in your gift bags and on the tables little cards for our Walk for Parkinson is on April 6th at Crane's Roost. I hope to see a lot of you there. Great event. We had like 1,500 people there last year. Great event, so I hope to see you there. The video we just watched marks a critical moment in my Parkinson's journey. I spent 6 years trying to hide my Parkinson's, and the anxiety, stress, and mental energy that went into trying to mask my symptoms was probably more taxing than Parkinson's itself. It wasn't that I didn't think I would find people supportive in my life. Not at all. I knew that would happen. But I don't know if it was ego, pride, or just some underlying anger from the diagnosis itself. I just couldn't get over that hump. But I was able to release so much of that anxiety and anger the second I published that video. It opened so many doors to a whole new way of looking at my Parkinson's. Now, don't get me wrong. Living with Parkinson's is not a walk in the park. The tremors, the stiffness, the fatigue, it's brutal. It's like your body decided to throw a party and forgot to invite you. But here's the thing. I refuse to let Parkinson's be the party crasher that defines my life. I can take all that energy and time I spent trying to hide all my Parkinson's into things incredibly more rewarding, like meeting so many of you here today. Sure, there are days where it feels like I'm fighting an uphill battle. Days when even the simplest tasks feel like climbing Mount Everest. But here's what I've learned. You can't control the hand you're dealt, but you can control the way you play it. So I choose to play my hand with grace, with courage, and with a healthy dose of stubbornness. Because let me tell you, Parkinson's may have knocked me down, but it sure as hell is not going to knock me out. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in this journey is the importance of resilience. Life's going to throw curveballs at you. It's inevitable. But it's how you respond to those curveballs that define you. And let me tell you, I've swung and missed at plenty of curveballs, but I've also hit my fair share of home runs. But perhaps the most important lesson I've learned is the power of community. You see, Parkinson's can make you feel isolated, alone, like you're fighting this battle all day by yourself. But nothing could be further from the truth. Events like this are proof of that. My role as president of the Parkinson Association of Central Florida has been one of the most rewarding endeavors of my life. It's a role that I cherish deeply because it allows me to give back to a community that has given so much to me. I've had the privilege of connecting with fellow Parkinson's warriors, of lending a helping hand to those who need it most, and for advocating for better resources, better treatment, and ultimately, hopefully, a cure. It's a responsibility that I don't take lightly, and one that fills me with a great sense of purpose and passion every single day. So as I stand before you here today, I want to ask that you join me in the fight. Let's stand together, shoulder to shoulder, united in our determination not to let Parkinson's win. Thank you.